Welcome to Answers for Living. I am Pastor Dave from Avondale Presbyterian Church. And I want us to look at some simple things every disciple of Christ needs to know. And here's the first principle we need to know, and that is how to treat your enemies. How do you treat them? Treat your enemies the way you want to be treated. Listen to what Luke chapter 6, verse 27-28 says. But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who mistreat you. Now here Jesus is talking about how we as Christ followers are to deal with our personal enemies. This is not about nations dealing with nations. It's not about nations dealing with individuals. It is not about capital punishment. It is about you as a Christ follower and how you're to treat someone who is your enemy, someone who doesn't like you, someone who attacks you, someone who talks behind your back, someone who you're not going out to dinner with this week or next week. How are you supposed to treat them? Well, Jesus says, love them, do good to them, bless them, pray for them. And we say, are you kidding me? No way. Well, that's how we're supposed to do it. Then Jesus goes on and says this, if someone slaps you on your cheek, turn the other also. Now this is about being insulted by your enemy. If an enemy wants to insult you, let him insult you. It's not talking about being punched in the face. If this was talking about being punched in the face, then when Jesus was in trial, he would have violated this. In John chapter 18, Jesus says, why do you question me? Question those who have heard what I spoke to them. They know what I said. When he had said this, one of the officers standing by struck Jesus, saying, is that the way you answer the high priest? And Jesus answered him, if I have spoken wrongly, testify of the wrong, but if rightly, why do you strike me? He didn't stand there and say, go ahead and punch me again. The scripture goes on and says this, if someone takes your coat, do not withhold your shirt from them. Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. If someone takes your coat, if he needs your shirt, give it to him. Now, he may steal it. He may ask you for it. He may say it's his. Jesus says, for whatever reason, let him have it. And then Jesus says, don't even go and ask for it back. Let me give you an illustration. Years ago, I was a painting contractor, and I was doing work during the winter, and I wore my Gore-Tex ski jacket to a house that I was working in, and I hung it up in the coat rack, and I painted in that house the rest of that day. As I was leaving, I put my jacket on, and the owner of the house accused me of stealing her ski jacket and demanded that I give her that jacket. Now, I was amazed that this millionaire would accuse me of stealing her ski jacket. I'm not a small man. I wasn't small then. I'm not small now. I wore a size 3 extra large. She was a very small woman. She probably was a size 3. But she demanded that I give her my ski jacket. She said it was hers. Well, I silently and quickly asked the Lord what to do with that. And I heard this verse run through my mind. If somebody takes your coat, give it to them. So I let her have it. I continued to work at that house for 2 more months, never asked for my jacket back, and I never got my jacket back. I did exactly what I was told. In verse 31, it says this, do to others as you would have them do to you. Now that's a summary verse. Notice it doesn't say, don't do to others what you wouldn't want them to do to you. It simply says, treat your enemy the way you would want to be treated.